What's going on, everyone? Today is January 14th, 2026. Today, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, Metaplanet, and strategy, the three things that we've been talking about and will continue to talk about. I appreciate you clicking on the video. Today, I'm mostly going to be talking about Bitcoin. As we know, Metaplanet and strategy are Bitcoin treasury companies. So, as Bitcoin does well, so will these companies. None of this is financial advice. It's just some of my thoughts. So today I'm going to be talking about why Bitcoin is separate from the collapse of fiat. Fiat, of course, means the money that we use today that is not backed by anything. The US dollar used to be backed by gold. Many currencies used to be backed by gold or backed by something, and then many currencies eventually went off of these standards. No fiat currency has ever survived. They all inevitably spiral into collapse. The US dollar will likely survive longer than it should because it's being kept on life support. It's artificially kept alive. All other currencies were pegged against the US dollar, and those currencies spiral out of control. Hyperinflation happens, and once it happens, it can't unhappen. So, the reason Bitcoin's so interesting, one of the many reasons, is because it's completely removed from this process. Bitcoin is a scarce asset. There's only 21 million coins. And because of this, as time moves forward, it becomes more and more valuable because it becomes more and more scarce. And you have to trade more currency or property or whatever you're valuing Bitcoin in for it. Bitcoin is safe from the spiral and the inevitable collapse of a fiat currency because it has nothing to do with it. All fiat has to do with Bitcoin is the way that we value the Bitcoin. The only way Bitcoin is related to fiat is through us using fiat to buy it and using fiat to value how much one Bitcoin is worth. What Bitcoin is has not changed since the time that it was $1 per Bitcoin to today, where it's $97,000 for a Bitcoin. One Bitcoin is still one Bitcoin. All this fiat has to do with it is we decide how much a Bitcoin is worth in terms of fiat. And it's important that it's completely separate from fiat because it gives a person who wants nothing to do with fiat currency a way out. And the reason that stocks, for example, um, your S&P 500 or your Mag 7 or even your 100 tech stocks, these are not separate from fiat. You can think of them as an asset. You can think of them as a hard asset, something that's not going to be debased alongside the dollar. But that's not true because these companies run on the fiat system. They run on a fiat standard. They can go up. The value of my Amazon, Google, Meta, Tesla, um, Apple, Microsoft, any of these very valuable stocks, the value of them can go up, but over a long time horizon, they're being valued in a collapsing currency. I know that the dollar's not collapsing, but slowly it's being inflated and the value of it has gone down over time. But these companies run on US dollars. So as $10 becomes worth $1, these companies are going to have to operate using that money and they're going to have to spend way more, even though they're going to be valued 5x, 10x what they are today over time. They're going to have to spend 5x, 10x, 20x because they're operating on a fiat standard. The reason that I'm so excited about strategy and Metaplanet is because these are operating companies that are stocks that you can own, but they're operating on a Bitcoin standard and they're completely removed from everything fiat. They have nothing to do with fiat. All Metaplanet and strategy have to do with fiat is the way that they're going to pay the dividends on their fixed income products. And that is a benefit to the shareholder because they're buying Bitcoin with fiat. It becomes hard and it becomes scarce. And then they're paying the dividends for the money that they raised to buy the Bitcoin in dollars or in yen. So over time, their cost of operation, which is denominated in fiat, is going down, and their what they're bringing in and what they're sitting on as an asset, the value is going up because Bitcoin is being valued in fiat. So they own Bitcoin and they're paying what they owe in fiat. That's the perfect scenario. Over a long time horizon, those companies are just going to compound value. For example, Metaplanet has a fixed income product where they offer 4.9% uh, yearly dividend. So if you give them $100,000, they're going to pay you $4,900 a year. And they're going to buy $100,000 of Bitcoin with that money today. And then in exchange for you giving them that money to hold, they're going to give you a dividend, but it's paid in yen. So in a year from now, the yen is not a relatively strong currency. That 4.9% that they're going to pay you is not going to be as much economic energy in a year from now as it is today. But they still got those units of economic energy and they bought Bitcoin with it, which will gain um, value in terms of fiat. That's all that will happen. It's an arbitrage, and they're capturing. If Bitcoin moves at a 30% ARR, they're capturing that 25%, and they're paying that 5% in yen, which is going down in value over time. If you follow what I'm trying to explain, what they owe is denominated in a terrible currency that is losing value, and what they own is denominated in a great store of value that is gaining value. So they're winning on multiple fronts. It's the same thing with strategy. They have a higher dividend rate, 11%, because they have to compete with the US fixed income products and money markets and whatnot, but they still are capturing that 19% in between the 30 and 11%. And over time, that compounding is just going to go like literally to the moon. So I make these videos because if you look into it, you realize the trend is going to only improve for these companies. It's set up in a way to just gain momentum over time. It's a flywheel. And even treasury companies aside, it's the same thing with Bitcoin because you can go to work and earn a fiat paycheck and it's worth what it's worth today. And you could either buy Bitcoin or you can buy something that's denominated in fiat. And even if the thing that's denominated in fiat goes up, it's going up relative to fiat, which is also going up. So it's not really going up, it's treading water. It's like, for example, if the SP 500 goes up 14% a year, but the value of the dollar goes down 7% a year, is it really going up 14% or is it going up 7%? And if Bitcoin goes up 30% and it has nothing to do with fiat, it's going up 30%. So it's just interesting to think about both sides of the coin value over time. It's being valued in something that's losing value, and it's actually materially gaining value. So there's a give and a take, and they both benefit Bitcoin. They both point to you want to align yourself on the correct side of this. You hear people talk about the K-shaped economy of if you have assets, you can go up, and if you don't, you go down. It's that's the perfect way to think about why you should have Bitcoin, because the Bitcoin is one of the few things that can align you on the side that's going to go up. Everything else in your life aligns you on the side that is being debased. So I wanted to keep this a quick video, just try to explain why the debasement um, leaves you with few options and why Bitcoin leaves you with optionality and why Metaplanet and Strategy are going to have the ultimate optionality and why it's a good idea to look into these trends. None of this was financial advice. If you clicked on the video, thank you. If you listened to the end, thank you. Everybody's support means a lot, and I hope that we all have a good rest of the day and a good rest of the year. So, thank you.